Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make a crochet bralette, and this is the color of yarn that I'll be using. This is a coffee brown color. You need a pair of scissors, a measuring tape, and this is a 3.5 millimeter hook, and I'm making it for a size small person. I will also be using two strands, yes, just so that because I'll not be putting in a bracket, I'll be using two strands so that it gets thick enough to be able to protect the boobs. Yeah, so we are getting right away into our project, and you need a stick marker as well. A stitch marker, but I do not use stitch markers, or I'm not going to be using a stitch marker because I already know my way out, but I will advise that you use a stitch marker. And this is a ring, is to protect my finger from getting this mark. I've had enough of it, so let's start right away. So first off, we are going to chain 10 stitches. So one, this is our first stitch after our slip knot. This is our first chain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is our 10 chains, and measuring it on the tape, this is measuring up to 2 inches. So you make 3 more chains. 1, 2, 3. These 3 chains is going to serve as our first double crochet. So you yarn over, and then you skip the first 2 chains, and then you pull through into the third stitch or chain, and then you make your double crochet. So that is our first double crochet. So you continue with your double crochet to the end of the chain. So this is our second double crochet, this is our third double crochet, our fourth double crochet, our fifth double crochet, our sixth double crochet, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the 11th one. So now we have 11 double crochets on this first row. You chain 2, and then you turn your work, and then you make your next double crochet into the same stitch you have your first. So you make your double crochet all the way up to the beginning or the end of the first row, but make sure that both sides have the same number of stitches. So after I am done, I'll count with you so we are sure we have the exact same thing and that one is not more than the other. This is a pretty simple pattern, and it is beginner friendly as well. So we are putting in our last stitch here. Yeah, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. So now we know we have the same number of stitches on both sides. Now we have to make the part where the cone will show, or will project our bralette into a V shape. So you make you yarn over, and then into the same chain space where you made your 11 stitch, you put in 8 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one, the 8th one. So now we have our 8 double crochets, and we have to continue our 1 double crochet all the way around, but we should make sure that we get this part, the 11th one, on the first row. You will realize that it has gone a bit inside because of the cluster, so you make sure that you have it, and then you crochet all the way to the end. I believe I am not going too fast. And please, if you do not understand anything, you can drop it down into the comment section, and then I will come and explain it to you. Or if I have to make another tutorial to explain better, especially for the complete beginners. So now we've come to the end of our row. So we chain 2 again, and then you turn your work. After turning your work, you continue your double crochet all the way until you get to the top, like that. Like I said, this is a pretty simple pattern. Not a lot of counting to be done, and not a lot of measurements to be taken. Just pretty simple. And so if you are if you are making it for a bigger person, for mine, the bust size is I think 27 or so. I think 27-34. It's a very small person, so that is why I'm making it this small. But if you are making it for let's say a size 8, size 10 person, that means you have to increase the number of rows that you make around. And also, if the breast size is quite heavy, you should also pay attention to that as well. You might as well count more stitches on the first line, which is our starting stitch, the one that we made 10. You could make about 11 you could make about 15 chains, just to make it a bit longer for the person, and then it will be able to cover up the whole boobs, or just as the person wants it to be. So we are almost at our bridge point. So this is going to be the middle. If you have a stitch marker, please, after making your chains, your cluster, you put a stitch marker into the middle so you don't forget to skip. Okay, so we've put in our first one. We have 7 more double crochets to put in there. So this is counting 2, 3, 4. After the 4th one, I will encourage that you get a stitch marker to put on the 4th stitch, so that you don't forget to skip it when you get here again, because that is where we are going to be continuing. That is where we are going to put our cluster when we come to the next row. So we've made 4, and then we add 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's done. And then always make sure that you are getting the first stitch after the cluster, else it will make your project it will make it look some way, because it wouldn't have the entire thing being done properly, and I don't think that will be a pleasant thing for the eye to see. So I'd like to also know what color of yarn you are using for your bralettes. I am using a dark brown. I mean, it is not mine, it is for someone requested for it, and she requested for this color, and so that's why I'm using this color. So we are at the end of the row, and as usual we'll chain 2, turn our work, and then continue with our double crochet all the way up until we get to where the stitch marker is. When you get to where the stitch marker is, you take off the stitch marker, you put in your 8 double crochets. When you get to the 4th double crochet, you put back your stitch marker just so you don't forget or miss the middle part, and then you continue with the other 4 double crochets. So you do this all the way around to the size that you want, and then before you get to the last row of the size that you want, kindly pause because we'll have to fix in the strand that will be used to tie at the back before we fasten the ends of our project. So kindly take note of that. Yeah, so at this point I'll let you continue, and then to the size that you want I'll meet you shortly. Okay, so if you are on the last row to hit your bra size, just to remind you that we'll be working out the strap at the top here. So where you put in your stitch marker, when you get there, as usual you make your 4 double crochet cluster, and then you put your stitch marker in there, and after that you chain, you make your strap chain. So I am also gonna make mine right now. 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. You don't necessarily have to count, but I believe you know the measurement of how long you want the strap to be. If you want it as long as whatever, I mean, it's up to you, but just chain, make it pretty long enough to be able to tie at the back of the neck. Okay, and then after we are done with the chains, we'll work our way down back again to the edges of the bra. So for me, I have already done one part of the bralette, so I wouldn't necessarily have to be counting. I'll just have to measure up with the first one that I have already done, and then that will save me enough time. Yeah, so this is the second one. This is what I'm working on now, and this is the first one that I had already made. You could see that it's strapped inside, so I will measure it with it and then see if I am getting the same thing. Okay, so I think I have hit my point. A few stitches of frogging and then I'll be done with it. Yeah, so I have mine, and this is measuring about this is measuring 22 inches. So that is for the size small person that I am making it for. So like I said, if yours is for a much bigger person, you consider that so that you don't end up giving a very small strap for the person, or even if it's for yourself, it doesn't become so small, else you might strangle yourself with it with a strap, which is so unhealthy. So we are gonna work a single crochet down to the end of our strap single crochet all the way down. Please, you should also make sure that your work doesn't turn, because as you'll be making the single crochet, it will be rotating. So I'm at the end of the chain, and you take off your stitch marker and then you continue with your 4 double crochet cluster, and we are almost, sorry, yeah, almost. And one more thing before I finish up. Yeah, so you double crochet all the way down as usual, and then we fasten up at the edge. I'll show you briefly. Okay, so we are at the end of our last row. I need to make sure I have the same thing as I made the first one. So I think the first one I counted how many rows: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So we're on the right path. So at this point we are going to make a single crochet to fasten up the edge of the bralette. That is if you have also finished, and if you haven't finished, please continue to make it the size that you want. Okay, make it the big size that you want, or even a smaller size, whatever that works for you. So finally we are done with our bralettes, and you get your scissors, you cut off your yarn, and voila, our crochet bralette is ready. You see how simple and clean it looks. This is very clean, so we have to fasten this off right away so it doesn't show in our work. Fasten it off and let it go far away. Yeah, so we are done, and our bralette is ready. So guys, now we have our crochet bralettes. You can go ahead and try it on, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.